What is going on, everybody? We back at it again. It's a Friday. It's a Friday. I can say I'm happy it's Friday, but I'm also upset it's still got one more week for our kids to be in school. So
when did school end up there?
next Thursday.
Ooh.
Half day next Thursday.
Oh man, it's
my
already
son,
done.
my 9-year-old thought it was over. And he was all excited, and then he found out yesterday it's got one more week. He leaned against the fridge like a man that was just told he had to work another 16-hour shift. He's like, what?
Well, you know, the last week of school is usually a bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
Unless they have finals or something, but
no. At 9, he ain't got nothing else up to do. He don't want to be there no more. I can't blame him though. I can't. At 9,
Washington State School District.
Man, you ready for summer? Like last week, you ready for summer?
Yeah.
You know, here where I live, the gym is open up to all the kids out of school, and it's like a meet up. So you have to get there at a certain time. If not, all the kids are coming in and hanging out with their buddies, lifting weights, talking. Hey, buddy, yeah, I missed you in school. I just saw you last week, man. Hurry up, go home, go get out of here.
You got chores to do, kid.
Yeah, do something.
Well, I'm going to be taking my 9-year-old to the gym all summer because he needs to get in some shape. So I'm going to be running his behind into the ground. My 15-year-old, though, real quick, people, before we get into it, I need to brag on my 15-year-old. He just ran a 4.6.
Wow.
4.6 40. He's 190 pounds, 6 foot.
Damn.
At 15.
Okay.
Dang.
You know what to call that, people? That's a big Negro, is what that is.
Yeah, he'll be looking at some prospects if he keeps it up.
Oh, he's already got a week-long camp at UW that they invited him. He's
really?
only middle schooler they've ever invited to their off-season program.
Oh,
okay,
man,
little Brown, I see you.
Okay, that's good.
You got that shit, the running back safety, man. Look, can't wait.
Congratulations.
Yeah. That's my meal ticket. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Now, son, I'm gonna live vicariously through you, so you better succeed.
Look, he gonna be paying me back everything. What?
That is your meal ticket. Just be honest. Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
Going to be the one.
With that. Yeah, you paid me back. I did what I could. Now you can do what you could. That's all. Mm-hmm. Speaking of family, mine might be going so far so good, but apparently the White House family seems to be breaking down when it comes to people like what's that name? Elon and good old Mr. Trumpy Trump. They have a rift. Yeah. So here's a question right off the top, everybody. Do you think that this rift is real? Is it a real rift? Are they really going at it at each other, or is this staged? That's going to be the first survey of the day. Is the Elon Trump rift real or staged? Come on, y'all. Answer the question. Real or staged?
I want to say it's real for legitimate reasons.
Okay. It's a plan, Teresa says.
I want to say it's staged. Because I just don't see how two billionaires would put their whole business out there, their whole argument out there for everyone to see. Mm-hmm. You know, they're the type of dudes that, even though Trump is the ultimate troll, everybody's got to understand that too about Trump and Elon. Elon's a troll too. So, but I think those two would take a lot behind doors if they had the respect for each other like they've always said they had.
Okay.
So I think it's staged.
I think it's staged. All right, cool. Everybody says crisis actors fake. No, but they're both good actors. Everyone thinks it's staged, man. Okay. Hear me out.
Central casting.
This was what they both posted on their own pages separately. Okay. Different times a day. Y'all can make up your minds about it. We kind of zoom in a little more. Elon said, relax, guys. It was just a prank. Trump says, calm down, everybody. It was a prank, a beautiful prank.
But that's dated for May.
Mm-hmm.
This happened in the last week.
That don't mean that what they're talking about was what was going on then. What
happened in May that made it
they were saying this back then for what was going on now?
So forethought?
Yeah, look at the date.
5/6/25.
I can't see
A
it.
month,
What is
an
it?
exact month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they weren't having anything. What was happening exactly a month
Nothing
ago?
was happening then. Exactly my point.
Yeah.
That's exactly my point. Put
Yeah.
it out there, saying it's it's just a prank for it to happen this month.
Now, were these tweets public back then, or were
Yes.
these like
Yes.
they just popped up? Okay.
Okay. Now we're doing theories, people. We're just doing theories. We are not saying what really is because we don't know. Theories. Okay, that's all we're putting in theories. Theory number 2. All right, this is one of the bigger ones. That Elon is doing it because he's trying to get back into the graces of the left. Because he joined the club back in and had to do his initiation rites with that I club.
Huh. Or Trump punched him in the face, and that's why he's mad.
Well, especially I wouldn't blame Trump for after he accused after what's his face, Elon accused Trump of being part of Epstein's island.
Yeah, Trump was like, you bam, right in the kisser.
Now,
Punch him right in the eye.
if it is that Elon is trying to get back, it actually would lend credence to his behavior. Listen, it would. Because he's saying all of the stuff that the left has been saying for a while now, right?
Right.
It seems awful weird that everything he's saying seems utterly left. You don't like the bill. Trump's on Epstein Island list. And he keeps going after certain things that the left seem to always harp on when it comes to Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have 2 options right now on the table. It's planned. Elon jumped ship and he's on the left. The other thing is he right?
About Trump?
What if he's right about Trump being on Epstein's island? The problem with that theory is that we have 2 things against it. And you might say, well, of course he would say this. Epstein's lawyer reveals that there is nothing negative about Donald Trump in any way, in any Epstein file. And he asked Jeffrey Epstein personally. I was hired to lead Jeffrey Epstein's defense as his criminal lawyer 9 days before he died. He sought my advice for months before that. I can say authoritatively, unequivocally, and definitely that he had no information to hurt President Trump. I specifically asked him. So,
and like we said before on past episodes about Trump and Epstein, if Trump was on that island, they would have used that in 2016 if they had evidence of him actually being there.
Right.
Also, if he was real about it, Elon, why would you leave your child near him?
That part.
I think if you really thought that this is what you know, and this is not information you only found out after you left. You seem to say that it's been common knowledge about why the files haven't been released. The files weren't released almost a month after he got into office. Okay? So you've had 3 months now to know the information, still keep your kid around him, and still stay with him.
Yeah.
But only now you're saying that he might be on the list? That seems a bit odd. Like really, really odd. Like specifically odd. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't seem legit. So his father says this. Elon Musk's dad sides with president in silly feud. Trump will prevail. Now, here's the big elephant in the room question. You think that at the end of this, that this will yield anything good for the presidency? If this does turn out to be a squabble that sends a rift through the president's support system, do you think that this could affect the 2028 election? Not for him, of course, but for Republicans.
I don't think so, to be honest. Probably because everyone recognizes that Elon Musk a lot of people are like Elon Musk is irrelevant. He was just in Doge for 3 months, which was the contract, and then is inconsequential for the most part to the party.
To the party, exactly.
Yeah. When did Elon decide he was going to join the right? What year?
20.
Was that recent? This recent?
When Trump got shot, I think.
Was it this recent?
Yes.
Okay. So before that, Elon was a leftist, pretty much, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you assume? Okay. So if Elon was a leftist before Trump got shot, and he had information on Trump on Epstein Island, and he was a leftist, how come he didn't use it back then to kill Trump's chances of running in 2024?
I think because Green.
How come he didn't use it?
I think Green speaks more to Musk than political alignment.
Yes.
To be honest.
If you have to consider this, okay? This is what Elon endured for the past 6 months. It's about that, 6-7 months. Tesla's being burned, stocks going down and going up and going down because of people's activities, warehouses being burned, facilities being burned, name being drugged, and then he's being called certain names. He's been asked to step down. He doesn't step down. He's affiliated with certain things he doesn't necessarily want to affiliate. Now, he's always had certain things that him and Trump never got along on. They've never been shy about that. But they both agreed that the government spending was too much. So now he saw the bill and he thinks the bill spending is too much. I'm sure he has some reasons for that, and there might be some in the bill, some pork that needs to be cut, no doubt. We're not going to disagree with that. However, is this his way of trying to salvage what he can, especially cutting ties with Trump, considering the statements in the bill itself? We'll read this here. Could it be that what he's doing is trying to distance himself so he can try and save face and money over the next few months? The big, beautiful bill spans 1,116 pages. Some of the pages include some serious cuts to clean energy incentives in a number of sectors. In an effort to reduce emissions produced by gas-powered vehicles, the federal government began to offer Americans an electric vehicle tax credit up to $7,500 during the Obama administration. This made pricey electric vehicles more affordable and accessible to average American. Among Trump's and House Republicans' big, beautiful bill proposals is a measure to kill the tax credit over the next few years. Section 11-2002 on page 30 is titled Termination of Clean Vehicle Credit. The credit was originally set to expire December of 32. The provision in the bill accelerates the expiration date to 25 December this year. Americans would lose the ability to claim the EV tax credit in 2026. Now, that would actually coincide with him being done with the White House and possibly trying to make a swing back in his recovery for money. Now,
but that's not. But remember, though, he still has his government contracts that he's still relying on.
They got terminated, majority of them, including the $400 million one that was supposed to be under Biden that never went through.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So he's losing quite a bit because of this supposed tax credit going away. So is he making a business decision at the risk of the separation of Trump and him, even though he made what he had to make public with Doge? Is it going to come back and bite him or bite the president?
He's going to come to bite him. And
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean,
too.
the guy's he's what, the richest man in the world right now, or one of the richest men in the world. So I don't see him losing too much. He may lose a couple of contracts. He may, stocks may drop, but the dude's still worth billions of dollars. So it won't hurt him too much. Just ride off in the sunset with little X and enjoy life if you're worried about it that much.
So the richest man in the world right now is Elon Musk, with a net worth of approximately $374 billion.
Whew.
$374 billion.
You know, here I think that, you know, how Trump talks about the art of the deal, right? And this was a business deal between Elon Musk and Trump. No matter how Elon Musk worked with Trump. I believe that his mindset was still a kind of a leftist mindset. But again, a business deal is a business deal. Businessmen will work with anybody they need to do whatever they have to do to get what they want.
Yeah.
And once his contract was up with Doge, and then the big beautiful bill had all those EV, cuts in there. I think that he felt salty after that. He was kind of like, wait a minute, I just helped you out, and this is what you do to me. So I don't know, man.
But the crazy thing is, Trump has been saying this about EV4 forever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
he didn't run on EV being a big thing. In fact, he said, like, ostentatiously, that this was not going to be something he was going to promote. He was not about green. He was not about doing this nonsense with the left. He was not about this whole climate change agenda nonsense and making electric vehicles for people, because he knew that it's not going to be feasible for regular blue collar people to afford, or to be forced to have to buy them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So he figured if you make the economy easier, they have an easier choice to decide if they want to buy it. Elon also has a choice to make them more affordable, I think people forget this. An EV person can easily make a vehicle more affordable to the public, but they don't, because they also understand that the reason it's expensive is because it makes more, they take more out of resources from the planet to make it.
Yeah.
That's just factual. And they do know that it's also more detrimental to the environment, but they don't want to tell you that. It doesn't use gas. That's all they tell you. It don't use gas. They don't tell you that the destruction of the battery is way more harmful to the environment. They don't tell you that it really can't be broken down. So they won't say that to you, but it's green because no gas, no emissions. So it's for him, he has a option to either try and salvage his company or stick with the current administration and their plan.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's looking after his pocket first. And I can't say I blame him. I'm not going to be mad at him for looking after his pocket. That's his prerogative. I personally, I'm not mad at the rift. I am not, because it's not affecting the presidency. At this point, it's not. And Trump can just easily separate himself from it, like he has. Like, he went crazy.
Yeah,
that's what Trump. He just went crazy. Like, but he had a point. He had a point that it was seemingly out of the blue all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to make of that myself. How quickly it took off was what was crazy to me. Let me see if I can find that statement.
So do you think because of the way the speed at which it took off, it's more staged than anything else? Is that the reasoning?
I think it blindsided him.
Okay.
It happened like really fast.
Yes, it was like quick.
Right.
It wasn't even.
I mean, it went from.
Go ahead.
It went from Elon not agreeing with the big beautiful bill and some of the things and all the pork in there to Trump's on Epstein's plate.
Well, there's that.
Whoa! We go from you not agreeing with the amount of pork and that it's a bad idea with this. What?
Yeah.
So
that's why it just didn't seem right.
So this is a report from Inside Edition that might lend some credence to certain things that took place. Okay, including making the I issue a topic of discussion.
And that's Elon Musk speaking out from the Oval Office today with President Trump by his side. Musk is stepping away from his work in Washington to concentrate on his companies. This comes as a New York Times expose claims that Musk's drug use was more intense than anyone ever knew.
President Trump paid tribute to first buddy Elon Musk today, as the world's richest man said farewell to the White House.
That's it, really. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Musk's exit from Trump world comes as a jaw-dropping New York Times report claims he was taking a powerful cocktail of drugs while he was on the campaign trail. The Times says it's unclear whether Musk was taking drugs when he became a fixture at the White House this year. According to the Times expose, Musk's erratic behavior, including waving a chainsaw around and that notorious Nazi-like stiff arm, can be attributed to a daily mix of ketamine, ecstasy, psychedelic mushrooms, and Adderall. They claim he travels with a daily medication box that holds 20 pills. He told people he was taking so much ketamine that it was affecting his bladder, a known effect of chronic use. Last year, Musk told journalist Don Lemon he used prescription ketamine to cope with depression, but denied abusing the drug.
If you use too much ketamine, you can't really get work done. So I have a lot of work.
Repeated use of these substances, especially the cognitive deficits and the mood swings that can end up happening when somebody's using ketamine regularly. So those mood disturbances that can make somebody edgier, can make them less functional, and therefore can make them act in ways that are not typical for them.
There is a New York Times report today that accuses you of blurring the line.
When a reporter tried to ask Musk about the Times report today, he hit back.
New York Times, is that the same publication that got a Pulitzer Prize for false reporting on the Russiagate? That New York Times? Let's move on.
And what's with the shiner on his right eye? He got it roughhousing with little X.
I said, go ahead, punch me in the face, and he did. Turns out even a 5-year-old punching you in the face actually does.
That was X that did it?
Yeah.
X could do it. If you knew X, he
I
could
saw
do
his
it.
mom right.
Meanwhile, Joe Biden spoke out today about his cancer diagnosis.
I feel good.
Have you decided on your treatment options?
Yeah, we have. We're underway, and all the folks are very optimistic. The expectation is we're going to be able to beat this.
I bet you will. Anyway, let's go with that. Let's go with that real quick. Now he has admitted to ketamine use. Okay, so we're not lying about that. No one is making that's not a conspiracy. He does have it. He did say he uses it. He didn't say he abuses it, but he does say he uses it. Could that be that what he's experiencing is a overload of use of certain things? I'm not saying it is. We're not saying it is. We're just saying might be, could be.
But
possibly.
We're not saying it isn't.
That's not. Yeah, no, either. But that's not a right-leaning post that's talking about the ketamine use. Okay, please understand that. They have been talking about Elon long before he joined the Trump campaign. That Don Lemon interview was not. That was just before he joined the Trump campaign. Right. Okay, so it's not like they went after him for that purpose. So, thoughts about that little thing there?
I think with the ketamine use issue and all the rest of the stuff that they named off, I think they're going to use that as a way to say, you see all this stuff that he found under Doge, he was high when he found that. So how can we trust Elon Musk to find all this fraud, waste, and abuse? That may come back to bite him in the butt because of the use of ketamine.
But then if that's the logic, then we can't trust anything he says about the Epstein list. Now, hear me out. If he's too crazy to find fraud and abuse in Doge, then he's too crazy to speak about the Epstein thing. He's too crazy to talk about the bill. He does not have any credibility. This is what I can't stand about the left. You see, like we're here talking about Elon, and we're not talking positively about Elon, but at the same time, we're not negating anything he's done. The left, however, they see him as the Nazi sympathizer. He's crazy. He loves the orange man. He's probably the president to be, and he's probably the one running the country. Now that he's not on the inside, all of a sudden, he's a smart one. He probably has information about election interference. He has information about Epstein Island. He has information about everything on. All of a sudden, now the left trusts Elon. They went from burning Teslas to wanting to buy them.
Yep.
Like I'm trying to figure out how you get that kind of a range of emotion stuffed into one human body. Just moments ago, you hated this man to the point where you wanted him dead, literally. People were asking for someone to end Elon Musk.
Right.
They wanted his company burned to the ground. They wanted all of it gone. And now, all of a sudden, you like him and you're like, please, Elon, give us all the tea. Give us all the dirt on Trump. We always knew you were a double agent. Come on, man. Even Tizzy is all like, yeah, I believed him. Pedophile, shut up.
God.
Come on now. Come on.
Oh, my God.
It's just making no sense to me, which is why it leads me to think maybe, even aside from the drug use, that it's staged to try and show people that the left is full of crap. I thought you hated the man.
Yeah, and they hated them so much, like you said, they wanted them taken off the earth. They burned kind of stuff. They wanted to take the guy out. And now they're left to screaming all for the Epstein list. Release the list. We knew Donald Trump was on the list. Release the list. Now they're all about releasing the list now. But before they weren't really talking about it much.
Like, dude, I mean, this is legitimately a concerning display of cognitive dissonance from the left.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, you know, their reality was Elon Musk is a Nazi. He's a closet SS member because of that "my heart goes out to you" thing. Which, hey, lefties, I just did it. But now it's we need the list that the right has been crying for ever since we got word of it, and then now all of a sudden they're okay with Elon. Like, that's cognitive dissonance.
So remember when we were asking for said list, there were certain individuals that said, no, we don't need it, right?
Right.
In fact, one individual that kept telling people you're stupid for even asking, and that you Trumpers need to stop, you Trumpers this, you Trumpers that, right? That was their big statement, was Trumper, Trumper, Trumper.
Right.
This one little homosexual, wannabe, pedophile, piece of crap, Tizzy Ent, Michael Horton, womanizer, supposed dumb, woman abuser, all those terms. And yes, that's all you are, Mr. Michael Horton. Sue me if you want to, you piece of crap, you worthless trash bag human being. You should be in jail, under the jail, and then beat up by every prisoner in there. You stinking pedophile. I'm going to make sure people understand who this guy is. If you don't know, go check out our video on him from about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, and how he trolled children and wanted to have sex with children by hiding it in TikTok videos.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even lying about that out of his own mouth. Anyway, that guy has this to say all of a sudden because he's the prior of so many truths. This is what he has to say.
When I tell you that this feud between Donald Trump and Elon Musk just took a turn, that a bell has been rung that cannot be unrung, breaking news, Elon Musk just tweeted, "Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, Donald J. Trump." And this is shocking to no one who bothered to learn the littlest amount about Jeffrey Epstein and that.
But you are one of the top ones that didn't want the list. You kept telling people they don't need the list. Why are you looking for the list? There's so many other things about Trump you need to be worried about. That was you.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that, mister? Maybe you don't remember that. But it's good that you all want the list now because we wanted to. Maybe some of your favorite people might be on there, kind of like Kamala Harris, the one you wanted to be in. Oh, wait, she is on many of the lists.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Isn't she also part of the Disney?
She's the Diddy list. Yeah, she's on the Diddy list. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In that case.
They don't want that.
It's not just the flight logs, which Trump was all over.
All over twice?
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, continue.
It's the times that he spent at his homes, at his places. There was a woman who sued Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump, claiming when she was 13, they took turns on her over a weekend.
Never happened. No such lawsuit. Go look for it yourself, people. Doesn't exist.
Right.
They've been claiming that for forever, and not one of them can produce any bit of that lawsuit. Not one. Anyway, continue, pedophile.
And that deposition is horrific, and MAGA doesn't care. Oh, well, she dropped that. No, she withdrew it and disappeared, and no one's seen her since.
So what does that have to do with Trump? It doesn't exist. Like I said, so what does that have to do with Trump? I'm confused now. Anyway, continue.
That's what happened there. But this is the risk when you have a power-hungry billionaire and you need him for his money, and then your own ego gets in the way, so you cast him out. But he's seen where the bodies are buried, and he's got nothing really to lose, so he's just going to run his mouth.
He's so theatrical.
This is just in a little banter back and forth. What else will Elon Musk drop?
I don't know. I thought you didn't trust him. I thought now you hated Elon Musk. Now all of a sudden you like him? He's trustworthy?
He's a source.
You know what? After hearing Tizzy say all that, I pray that this is all just a show. I hope that they come out and say, we were joking the whole time. I hope they do, man. Just do it. If you're joking, just come out and say it so you can shut people like Tizzy up.
But again, that cognitive dissonance is going to affect Tizzy. people like Tizzy, because then he's going to be like, well, see, we all of a sudden knew that Elon was double agent. So.
Yeah. Okay, Tizzy. I just find it so crazy that these are the same people that don't trust somebody until they trust somebody because they go somebody against it. They hate Trump more than they hate Elon. They were happy to have his stuff burned because he was with Trump. Now that he's not with Trump, you're going to apologize for promoting burning his stuff? No? Oh, okay. I didn't think so. Yeah. Anyway, so that is that. What do you think? Do you think that this is going to end up being a nothing burger? You think that they're going to end up, that Elon's going to end up crashing and burning? Who's going to come out on top if it is real? Will Trump win this war of words? And if Elon does not, okay, here's a bigger question. If Elon does not produce the receipts for what he says, what does that make him? Because it's really big. If you say that and you have nothing to back it up, that could be problematic.
Well, you notice when Elon put out that tweet, he said, did he say Epstein files or Epstein flight logs? What did he say specifically?
Files.
Here, he said files. So are those? He never said. So those files be flight logs too, correct? Correct.
Yep.
All right. So it's very vague. So either way, he's going to be like, yeah, I said the Epstein files. The flight logs are part of the files. Yes, Trump was on the flight logs, which we all.
Yeah.
He never said he had proof that Trump was on the island. Remember that. So yeah, whenever Cash Patel drops the Epstein files, as they say, it's going to say exactly what Elon said and what we all knew. Yeah, Trump was on the flight logs twice. But nowhere in there is he on the island. So maybe this is why it could be staged, because he's probably pushing them. He said that, so all the left are like, yes, we got Trump. He's on the Epstein files. Then they're going to see it. Oh, he was just on the logs. We already knew that.
So this is officially what he said. Time to drop a really big bomb. At real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. This is the real reason they have not been made public. Okay.
Which we know. He's on. Yeah. He never.
Now, I don't
said
think
the island. Remember that. He never said.
I don't think they're going to be dropping anything anyway. I don't think we'll ever see those files. For whatever reason, we are never going to see the Jeffrey Epstein files. Never. You're never going to know who was on the list because nobody. See, here's the problem if they drop it. Do you want to know the amount of arrests that would have to happen? And you'd have to ask then, why didn't these people get arrested during the court case? Because I think a lot of these people were indeed given plea deals to drop information about Mr. Epstein and given immunity. So if you were to drop the names, then they can get harassed and have reverse lawsuits all over the place. Think about it this way. If this particular list gets dropped and all these people are indeed warranted innocent by their plea deals, you create quite a problem by giving out people's names who are deemed innocent. Deemed. I didn't say they were, deemed. So if they just say, I'm not, they say, we want to, but then you release a full list of people who have not given that information, not signed some sort of a waiver or given some sort of a deal, then you're covered. We'll release some files, but you can't give all. The same thing with Diddy. It's the same thing like with Diddy. You're going to see that no one else is naming the RICO charges yet because they probably made a deal with the prosecution to avoid being mentioned, but give all the information. So Diddy's the only one. There are guilty parties, but they signed a plea deal. They took it and they said, well, make me immune from prosecution and I will tell you everything I need to know. I can almost guarantee you that the names that they have supposedly not wanting to go out have made plea deals. And that's why they're not going to send the names out, because they've been told you can't put my name in there at all because I have a deal with the state. Now, the names that are out did not make the list in terms of signing a waiver. Which name got out there that was actually in it? One of those people was what? Trump. Maybe a lot of these people did not sign that waiver. Or if they did sign the waiver, they don't want their names mentioned in certain capacities. That's the only thing I can think of as to why the list isn't out yet. The same way I looked at it when I looked at Diddy's case. It just doesn't seem to make sense that he's the only one named in the RICO charges, but he's not the only one really named if you look at it really, because they have to have, it's an enterprise, right? That's what the whole RICO charges is based on, an enterprise.
Right.
And if he doesn't have any more named in the public, then it must be that somebody snitched quietly. I think that's probably what happened to Epstein. So that's why I don't think we'll get it. I don't think it has anything to do with Trump, because it came out. Remember, all this happened not under Trump.
Yeah.
This happened under, most of it was taking place under Biden. Okay. Like 19 was when Epstein died.
Yeah.
Ghislaine Maxwell's case didn't get heard till 20.
Now, a question: Who would give them immunity? A federal judge, the president? Who gives them that immunity?
The prosecution would. Whoever if the state or the federal government is bringing the prosecution to then they would give them a immunity case by telling them, you give us what we need to know, and you can walk free.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so the prosecution, who are they appointed by?
That would be the federal government.
That'd be a federal judge, right?
Yeah, or federal. Yeah, well, the federal government overall. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and just work with me here. So, remember when Trump said that he's getting rid of all those judges, federal judges appointed by Joe Biden?
Say again, because you keep breaking up.
Remember when Trump came out and Trump administration came out and said that all the judges, all these federal judges that were appointed by Biden, that they're getting rid of them, correct?
I had heard something like that.
Yeah, I did too.
Okay, so and I heard that. So I'm thinking like the federal judges that gave these people that are on that list, Biden using auto pen, all this other stuff, and all this stuff. What if Trump getting rid of these federal judges has something to do with these people, the government officials that claim immunity with this Epstein stuff? So what if getting rid of them, does that get rid of their immunity, or that immunity stands?
It depends on if they revoke their status. If they do, then that would mean some of the immunity cases might go away. Might, depending on how it's been put together. If it was offered by the prosecution and the judge really didn't have any say over it, then that would be one thing.
Yeah.
If it was signed off on by the judge and the judge had no authority to do it, then that would be another thing. The question is whether or not revoking their status undoes their casings. I don't know.
Okay, that's
the part I don't know. If that happens, then maybe they might be waiting on that to say, okay, now we can release because the immunity things are gone away. That's if those things were signed. That could be a possibility too, but I'm not thinking that's what it is. I really believe that a lot of this stuff that's happening is because they cannot release it because people made deals. Mm-hmm. That's what I think. If, however, that's not the case, then we're looking at a continuation of a cover-up even under Trump's administration. That's problematic.
Yeah.
Like really problematic. Yeah. And us, we ain't going to pull no punches. If we find out tomorrow that Trump was definitely on the island, and we find out tomorrow that Trump is sequestering it, there's no doubt should not be a doubt in your guys' mind that we will throw everybody under the bus, bathwater and all. We ain't got no problem doing that. Mm-hmm. Because we're about getting the right information out and being on the right side of the law. This is not about being so Trump positive that we will never talk bad about it. We've done it before.
Yeah.
But we need tangible, provable things.
Mm-hmm.
It's different than calling somebody something, but with this particular, and I can call Joe Biden a pedophile because I've seen him sniff children and touch them inappropriately. That's what pedophiles do. That's why I can call him that. Just in case people wonder, well, you don't look for proof. That's proof. FYI.
Yeah.
So in this situation, I can't say that Elon can't be saying something true. But again, if he does have that information, why leave your kid with him? And why don't you drop the information if you say you have it?
Mm-hmm.
You say you have it. If he was there, which files is he associated with? Is it showing him on the island? Is it showing him actually messing with children? Is there case files that we now know that you know about that we need to know about? Tell us. What are you waiting on?
Right.
I don't know what the delay is. And you want him impeached, right? Because I think he retweeted somebody's statement about getting Trump impeached. If you want Trump impeached, drop that file. He's gone. I guarantee you, Trump will be gone in jail.
Right on X. Just do it. If you got it, do it. Get it over with.
Mm-hmm. Look, we don't got no problem with it if it's right. Tomorrow, right hand. If tomorrow we get information that Trump is a pedophile, watch what we do. We will go live that day with that info and blast it. We don't care.
Yeah.
We do know what he's doing for the country. Yes, that has nothing to do with information that's adverse to him. We will drop it. Heartbeat. We'll expose all kinds of stuff. We have no problem doing that. But no one's brought any tangible proof to us yet. So
yeah.
So Elon, if you're doing this, do it. If you say he's on that list and you know about it, to what capacity is he on the list? How difficult is that to say?
And nothing redacted either.
No,
Not the full.
Just say.
Just the full.
How difficult is it, Elon? Well, think about it. You know, amount of people are going to be kissing your cars if you drop that. The amount of leftists are just going to waste money just to buy every EV vehicle you have. All of it. They'll just spend all their money to get it.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Man, you'd be richer than you might make it to the $600 billion club.
They have parades for you. They'll probably declare a National Elon Musk Day.
You become president
just for that information. Yep.
Think about it, Elon. You could be ketamine president of the year. Incentives, man. Drop it. Give us the information we want. Show us Trump is on the list. Tell us he's a pedophile, but tell us exactly what he's did on the island. You say you know, because you wouldn't say that if you didn't know.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Show us. We'll wait. It's not that we
and the
don't
question
believe
is,
you.
how do you
So,
know? And how do you know? How do you know? You know, how do you have all this information? And before you got involved with Trump, you've probably had it beforehand. How come no one knows about it? And we're waiting on the FBI, who supposedly has all this information, and they're I don't know why they're not putting it out, but you have it. You know, are they telling you to post it? If they're not telling you not to release it, release it.
Release the Kraken.
Yeah, I mean,
you'll be a martyr. You'll be a martyr, man. You'll be a martyr. Everybody will love you.
They would just be like, Elon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he has it, but you know.
No, I don't think so.
We'll see.
The only thing I think he has, and he's released it before on X, was the flight logs. That's it. That's all he has, and he just threw it out there.
But even the flight logs aren't incriminating.
No.
Well, but even the flight logs aren't really that incriminating because the plane that Trump flew on was a former Epstein plane.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like no, it was nothing burger, just like his taxes.
Okay, so this is what will happen. This will be how it will look when Elon Musk drops the bomb about Trump being on the list. This is us waiting, and then Elon shows up.
Release the Kraken.
Where's the lie?
You know, with that, even if they did release it, the only thing people would really care about, the left mainly would only care about if Trump's name on there. They wouldn't care if Hillary, Kamala, Obama, anyone else, they wouldn't even care about that. It'd just be, oh, we got Trump finally. But what about the rest of them on there? You don't care about them? Well, no. We only care about Trump. Let's get rid of him.
Release that Kraken, we'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Man, look, this will become very interesting very quickly, very soon.
Right.
Either we'll find out it's a hoax, or we'll find out that they've been really, really, really at odds, and Elon does have information about Trump, or we'll find out that Elon's lying sack of crap, and he has no way of actually proving that Trump is on the list except to get more clout, to get his money back. And he was indeed mad that Trump took away funding, or at least, credits for EV.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be definitely a problem. Either way, I think this is what I believe. I believe. I have a theory about it being a hoax, but I genuinely believe that Elon is just trying to salvage what he can of his company's worth in the public eye. Mm-hmm. And he's trying to get back onto the bandwagon of the left because he did enjoy it over there. And I think it's working for him. I do not believe that it's a planned stage thing. And I think at the end of the day, he's going to shoot himself in the foot because he's put out information that he says he has or knowledge of, and he has to eventually pony up. And I don't think he can pony it up. That's me. What do you think?
I mean, that makes sense.
Bro?
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I don't think he has anything. I think he's going to, the time is going to come. Cash Patel, if he releases, which they won't, if he releases it, and everyone's going to say, ask Elon, is this what you had? Yeah, that's exactly what I had. Well, it's nothing. So what are you talking about?
Maurice, here's the problem. Yes, he has, but his time frame was only given so long to do what he had to do anyway. It was a temporary position. Okay, and I think that's where people got fooled, is that maybe he would have been kept on as a permanent part, but he couldn't really be kept on as a permanent part. There isn't a real role for him in this government. However, the role that he did come in under, it being a specifically long period of time or short period of time, it was set in stone forever ago. He would have eventually left the union that they had in any case. So him helping was only a temporary thing to show certain things, to get ahead of certain things, to get some information out there. Right. And from here on out, and this is why people are weird. Okay, so we know what the expenditure was, what the expenditure was, what they were wasting. If we cut those things, any bill that passes that adds money to it is only going to be an offset, especially if the bill is adding stuff to eventually take more money back into government. So his concern are it's kind of like a non sequitur in real extent of things. So I think really he's just bitter. That's just what I think is happening. He's finally waking up to what he's losing. And when it affects him, all of a sudden the saving of money on his end takes precedence over the American people. That's what I think has happened.
Yep.
I don't hate the guy. I'm worried. I'm concerned about what his role is in other things. But I mean, if you want to save your money, bro. But you don't need to go this length to save your money. But hey, pony up the information if you got it, though. I want to see that list as much as anybody else. And if you know Trump is on there, then you a piece of shit for making your kids stay around him. I'm going to tell you this, that ketamine must have had an effect on you to put your child in the hands of a pedophile and leave him in around it. That would be absolutely irresponsible of you if he was on Epstein Island. You are probably the worst possible parent ever to grace the earth if you knew this and still did it. Something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. That's all I got to say about that. So come Monday, we'll see if anything breaks, if Elon drops a receipt or a file that he stole somewhere. You know, he might free Julian Assange or something. I don't know. We'll see what. We'll see if he becomes the next. What's his name? What's the whistleblower? The
Seth.
No, the one that they the hacker.
Eric Snowden.
Snowden. He might become the new Snowden. Yeah. Elon Snowden. See if he does it. We'll see if it happens. But more stuff might come out Monday. More stuff might show up, and we'll let you know by I don't know Sunday what our topic will be, because things are moving kind of
this weekend. It's just weird how all this is happening right before this big parade on the 14th that Trump's having. It's like, why though? You know, I just don't get it. Like, why now? Why at this moment? Is this just out? I've been asking about this stuff for years. So I don't know. It's going to be a very interesting weekend because something's going to.
Something gonna break. Something will break. I'll give you that. Something will break. Don't know what it'll be, but something will break. So anyway, we'll catch you guys in. Mr. Lee.
Like, share, comment, subscribe. Have a happy weekend. We'll see you Monday. Peace.